DJ JAVIN, turn us up.
What are like 3 things that are like the biggest lessons you've learned since you've been here?
Be humble. Be humble. You shouldn't have to be humble. That shouldn't be on the list, on the to-do list. You know what I mean? It should already be there. You should already be humble. It should be a quality. But this lifestyle, I think, gets into people's heads. A lot of the times you can be discouraged being in this industry, especially as a woman, because you have to look a certain way. You know, there's always that idea of doing certain things in order to get to the top. You're always faced with those. You're always faced with those things, left and right, when you're a woman. Because I feel like this is really like 60-70% is men. It's male dominant. I think as a woman, you're always faced with these different distractions, but I always think that you definitely just need to remain true to yourself. It's easy to get caught up, but if you just remain true to yourself and really believe in yourself and set a good example, I think you're helping another woman. You know, you're paving the way for another woman, and that's important. That's really important. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the distraction. You know what I mean? Just kind of, stay in your own lane, and you have a lane, do your own thing, you know? Honestly, you don't always have to open your mouth. A lot of the time, you just sit back and watch. Be very observant. Even though we speak for a living, I think that you don't always have to say what you truly think or what you truly feel. I think sometimes it's smarter just to not say anything at all. Like, learn when to speak and when not to speak. As you watch and as you learn and as you observe, you're learning and the wheels are turning. And so when you get to that point where you're like, I know my shit, you can't tell me otherwise, and it comes out, it's gonna be that much more powerful than when you didn't really understand prior. You know what I mean? I have a few years behind me now. I'm not completely, I don't know anything new. I'm able to pass down what I've learned to somebody else.
So when you think of the future of Cali Cat, is there anything in your heart that's yearning for? See yourself in television?
I see myself doing both in 5 years. Hopefully that's the goal right there. A few more years, really love to do more. I would love to do film. For the time being, I think I've gotten to a point where it's like, I'm part-time, but I don't have to just be on the air for 4 hours and call it a day. Even though I'm part-time, I could still be active within the city. And I am. I push Young Arizona, the movement, and that's something that Tino has started since he moved here a year and a half ago. I teamed up with him on that to build a platform for local artists that are not sure what decision or what direction that they need to take. There's so much talent here, so it was all about really trying to help those artists and all come together as a city and really try to help each other. Aside from that, I just started my podcast that's actually going to air soon, in a few days. It's called The Femme Exchange. That's an idea that I've had for a couple years now. I've always wanted to do like a female talk show, talking about just pretty much like what goes on in our minds, our opinions. We're incredible creatures because sometimes we don't even understand ourselves, you know what I mean? And so I think that that's interesting, like what goes on in a female's mind. I think that no matter what, we're complicated creatures. We're not black and white, we're colored. I've always wanted to do a show that represents that shows that, and branding myself as not just somebody in power, like not that girl that just works at power, but the girl that likes to do it all. Yeah, you'll see me turning up at the club like with some of my friends or the people that that DJ there. But I also like to get away from that's not just my life. I have a whole life on the other side. It's just an all-around person. And that's what I really want people to know about me, is that I'm not just this or that. I'm just an all-around person. And more than anything, I will stand up for my girls, and for my females, because there are very few of us. So